Okay, today we're going to continue working in the shop on the welding. The objectives are I can utilize skills learned in previous classes to correctly operate a cutting torch and piece of metal. I can correctly run beads using stick, that's what SMAW. I can critique my own and others' cuts and welds to identify strengths and weaknesses. And I can complete individual assignments when told to. Those individual assignments are your deer stand that we're working on, Riley, and that's finishing up your pit, and Bug, I have something for you to do. Okay, so yesterday we went over some of the sets of how to actually run a bead with y'all, and this video is going to carry a little bit further for some of those who are not as good at it, who haven't had as much practice. So watch this video and we're going to discuss it here in a second.
Run a good weld bead when arc welding. To review on striking your arc, what I like to do is strike it like a match. I'll bring out, just pull a straight line.
Okay, so Kion, yesterday what were you having issues with?
Striking it at first, but then I got
Okay, when you're striking it at first, so it said to strike it like a match. What did I tell you to do to make it better yesterday though? Get comfortable. So if you're in the welding booth and you're trying to weld, get comfortable. That means lean up against the wall behind you. Get your arm propped up correctly. Y'all all know this. Those of y'all doing MIGs on the deer stand, y'all are doing the same thing, was getting comfortable. As far as cutting goes, some of y'all yesterday, Rooster, when you were cutting, what did I tell you to do? You don't remember? Remember, use your arm. I'll demonstrate it. Use your arm as your prop and cut this way. Kimbo, since you got those pants on, you can't weld or cut, so you'll be helping Kim. Okay. When you're striking your bead, if you're using a rod that's a 70-18, that's the white one, you just run like that, okay? You don't have to put any movement. It automatically lays it down. Okay? Now if you're doing any other rod, 60-10 or 60-18, or whatever other versions, the red rods I have in there or the gray rods, go ahead and try doing like that. Okay? And another method is zigzag, like that. And what you're doing each time is building up the puddle. Those of y'all who are going to be doing the stick welds will look at each one and you'll be able to tell what you did wrong and critique others. Harvey and Ryan, what did y'all, when y'all were doing the MIG, what were y'all supposed to do?
just drag it.
Just drag it? Or what to get more penetration?
You push it.
You push it. Push it gets more penetration. For that project, it doesn't matter. It's whatever looks the best. Okay, so when we go in the shop, just like I said earlier, y'all too need to cut out the grate. Put that in there. Drag that outside. And then we'll get the other deer stand in and we'll start working on that. Riley, you and Kimbo work on the barbecue pit, and the rest of us are going to be doing cutting and welding. Okay? Up higher, down a little bit. You want the orange barely touching. And then you turn the top knob away until you get to 300. Okay? To cut, you get comfortable. Hold it right over the metal. And you go right across. Okay? Now you try. Get comfortable. Push the trigger when you're ready to cut. Nope, not yet. Push the trigger. Now go straight across. A little bit faster. A little bit faster. Tie on it. Pick it up a little bit off of it. A little bit higher. Okay. Turn it off. Top knob towards you. Red knob toward the inside. Okay. Taiwan, your turn. picture. What do you think is wrong? Which one of these is your cut?
I'd probably say it'd probably be closer to the oxygen pressure to 500 passes.
Okay. Pull yours off, Richard. Okay, so looking at these pictures, you'll see actually the main thing that's wrong with y'all's is that you had too much heat. What it was is it was welding itself back together. You got all this extra dross here and slag on there. That is what's causing it to go back together, and we had to use the pliers to break it apart. If y'all would have welded it right, it would have fallen right off, okay? And then here in a second, when Rooster gets over here, we'll look at his. Now, if you look at these, you can see a good cut, like we've shown y'all before, goes straight up and down the whole time, okay? And then, Rooster, on yours, looking at this picture, which one of those matches your cut the most, do you think?
Which one my cut?
Probably the other side.
That one.
Probably this one. Too much preheat.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see. Well, with yours you had to cut it twice because the first time you didn't go through, and yours was a combination of too slow because you got some of those, and then also too much preheat. Okay. The reason why you had too much preheat is because you had to go back over it a second time, so it heated up twice. Okay. Take these in there in the booth. Get some rods and run practice beads on one side, and then give me 2 real beads on the other side for y'all to critique, okay? And then y'all are going to critique each other's using this as y'all's guide.
Oh, what do you want the bolts on?
Yeah, bolts start off about 110, because if you get too low, you can do what happened with Kion yesterday and it gets stuck, okay? So they all should be set.
Closer to the middle. Closer to the middle. Closer to the middle. Right there. That's how close you can do it, okay? Closer. Go stuck in the middle of those. Closer. 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 What happened? You got high. You got high? I thought you moved it. No. As long as you're moving, it will not slip. Okay? You try that close, and I'll help you
In this picture.
Can I go lay an arm on the back of it?
Yes, you can.
Where's my Rooster?
Rooster, try take what y'all did. Like, he knows he needs to slow down. You need to do what? Turn your amperage down. Turn it down about 5 or 10.
You ain't got another page?
No, just weld one right beside it. Cut it down 5 or 10
Looks
points.
more like. Looks more
Okay.
like, it looks like a bit of this and a bit of that one.
Looks like a bit of this one and a bit of that one.
Yeah.
So that
it's
means
like small. It's big right here, but then it gets real small.
Like this one right here, it kind of looks like a little this one.
like both of these. Okay, it can have both of them in there. So if you look at it, this is C. C means its current set too high, and E means arc length too long. remember how I was telling y'all to get closer to the metal? So that's why it looks like it's far out. And yes, our amperage is turned up too high. Main reason is that to get y'all comfortable striking.
Yeah, because as soon as you touched it, it went off.
Because yesterday when y'all had it too low, y'all were sticking the whole time. So I'd rather y'all get comfortable with it up high and go from there. Okay?
Well, which one is perfect?
D is perfect. Actually, A is perfect, my bad. D is pretty close. That just means that
I think that's best. I think so too, Harvey.
So this one right here is going too fast. That's perfect. This one right here means your current's too low. It would have like big globs on it. Okay? So
right,
y'all...
Can I go, Will?
Yes, go get a piece of scrap metal and try to run a perfect D for them to see. Okay? Yeah. Don't use a 7018. Use a real rod.
The red one.
Yeah. Or gray one instead. It's not a 7018. Okay? Okay. Go over there, turn your current down, and try to stay close and do 1D. Okay?
Is that the other numbers on the left side?
Just turn the knob down. The big knob in the middle. Just turn it down. Okay, looking at this weld. This was Harvey's. What do you notice about it compared to some of your other ones?
It's wide.
It's wider. So that means what if it's wider?
You use better penetration.
One, he could have used a different rod, but yours was too narrow because you went too fast. Okay? Harvey's also been doing this a little bit longer, so that's why his. Now, you can find his problem areas right here and then right here. Okay? So what happened right here was
You stopped slowly.
he was probably doing really good here like this, but then when he got there, he went too far and came back, and that's why there's a little divot right there. And then over here, at the end of his weld, or is this the beginning? That's the beginning of his weld. Beginning of the weld, he was still trying to get the correct height down. So once he got to a certain point, you see he got better. Okay, if you look at his other welds that are on here, as he progressed, that was probably the last one he ran. This one, right here, he was going too fast, and then he just decided to quit because it wasn't looking good. Okay? Then that one right there was pretty decent. Now let's look at Kion's. Okay. First one, he was too far away.
That's okay. Too far.
He was too far away and he was moving too slow. This one he got a little bit better, but Kion, this is only your second day of welding like this. Okay? So he's doing good. Now as far as objectives go, y'all did use your skills to cut a piece of metal out and weld it. Y'all did run beads on there, Rooster. And you were able to critique your own and others' cuts and welds to identify the strengths and weaknesses. And then some of y'all went back and tried to fix that. And as far as individual assignments go, we did get that one deer stand complete up to the point we can right now. And Riley, how much? You got almost all the bands on there, so we did that.
I got all the bands on there.
You got all the bands on there? Okay, so then the next thing to do on that is to do a smoke test to see all the leaks and go from there. Okay? So,